Dear class, here I am once more, here we are once more, on my porch. And I'd like to attempt using three separate voices. I'm not sure if I'm going to bring this off too successfully, to read a bit of crap, to give you a sense of what I feel is the humour of the enterprise. Not always clear when you're staring at a text that it doesn't announce what its tone is. The three voices I have in mind are my own voice, with which I'll read the stage directions, without which it's hard to make out what on earth is going on. An older Irish accented voice of the almost 70-year-old Krapp', and a younger, more vigorous Irish accented voice on the tape, speaking as the 39-year-old that Krapp' was when he recorded the particular spool of tape that he is listening to. And ignoring all the opening stage directions, the stage business, as it's called, very complicated, involving bananas and offstage drawings of corks out of what we might presume are beer bottles with corks in them. Certainly not drawing wine bottle corks at that speed. So I think we must imagine a slightly different form of alcohol, but alcohol nonetheless, offstage. And after all that, he settles. He bends over the machine, looks up with relish. Spool. Happy smile. He bends, loads spool on the machine, rubs his hands. He peers at ledger, reads entry at foot of page. Mother at rest. At last. The black ball. He raises his head, stares blankly front, puzzled. Black ball? He peers again at ledger, reads. The dark nurse? He raises his head, broods, peers again at ledger, reads. Slight improvement in bowel condition. Memorable. What? He peers closer. Equinox. Memorable equinox. He raises his head, stares blankly front, puzzled. Memorable equinox. And of course you might consider that this is what will happen to you if you do record, or if you read a diary from many years before. If you're an old man and you read a diary from when you were in your late 30s, you think, what's he referring to? You actually can't remember, which is certainly one of the key effects that occur in the play. He shrugs his shoulders and gives up, and at the bottom of the ledger he reads, Farewell to... He turns page. Love. And note that that's really the first laugh, because if you, as the author, felt that one of the things that the comments in the ledger, like a summary of what's going to be on the spool, would be a farewell to love, you ought to just write farewell to love, but the fact that you have to turn a page in the middle of it creates a comical pause. Farewell to... turns page. Love. So he broods for a bit, and then we hear the voice. 39 today. Sound is up. Seating himself more comfortably, he knocks one of the boxes off the table, curses. Fuck! Switches off, sweeps boxes and ledger violently to the ground, winds tape back to beginning, switches on, resumes posture. 39 today. Sound as a bell, apart from my old weakness. And intellectually, I have now every reason to suspect at the crest of the wave, or thereabouts. Celebrated the awful occasion, as in recent years, quietly at the wine-house. Not a soul. Sat before the fire with closed eyes, separating the grain from the husks, presumably thinking back over the past year, what was important and what wasn't. Jotted down a few notes on the back of an envelope. Good to be back in my den, in my old rags. Have just eaten, I regret to say, 3 bananas and only with difficulty refrained from a 4th. Fatal things for a man with my condition. Cut 'em out! The new light above my table is a great improvement. With all this darkness round me, I feel less alone. In a way. I love to get up and move about in it. Then back here to me. Krapp. The grain. Now I wonder, what do I mean by that? I suppose I mean those things worth having when all the dust has settled. I close my eyes and try to imagine them. Extraordinary silence this evening. I strain my ears and do not hear a sound. Old Miss McGlone always sings at this hour. But not tonight. Songs of her girlhood, she says. Hard to think of her as a girl. A wonderful woman, though. Connaught, which is a province of Ireland. Connaught, I fancy. Shall I sing when I am her age, if I ever am? No. Did I sing as a boy? No. Did I ever sing? No. Just been listening to an old year, passages at random. I did not check in the book, but it must be at least 10 or 12 years ago. This pause is your professor's pause, losing his place, rather than Krapp'S pause. Just been listening to an old year, passages at random. I did not check in the book, but it must be at least 10 or 12 years ago. At that time, I think I was still living on and off with Bianca in Kedar Street. Well out of that, Jesus, yes. Hopeless business. Not much about her, apart from a tribute to her eyes, very warm. I suddenly saw them again. Incomparable. Ah, well. These old PMs are gruesome, but I often find them a help before embarking on a new retrospect. Hard to believe I was ever that young whelp. The voice, Jesus, and the aspirations. To drink less in particular. And the stage directions show that the listening old man that Krapp now is laughs at the same moment as his 39-year-old version laughs on the tape, except for the last one where Krapp laughs alone when the younger Krapp talks of to drink less in particular. A brief laugh of Krapp alone, the old man able now to find that funny, whereas it was deadly serious when the younger Krapp recorded his past self, or what was then his present self. Statistics: 1,700 hours out of the preceding 8,000-odd consumed on licensed premises alone. Licensed premises are a pub licensed to serve alcohol. More than 20%, say 40% of his waking life. Plans for a less engrossing sexual life. Last illness of his father. Flagging pursuit of happiness. Unattainable laxation. Sneers at what he calls his youth, and thanks to God that it's over. So this is the voice on the tape, talking now about an even younger Krapp, whose voice on a tape he has just listened to and is now recording his reflections. So there are three Krapps here present. The Krapp listening, the Krapp on the tape commenting on the Krapp on a tape that he's just listened to, the youngest Krapp of all. Sneers at what he calls his youth, and thanks to God that it's over. False ring there. Shadows of the opus magnum, closing with a yelp to Providence. What remains of all that misery? A girl in a shabby green coat, on a railway station platform. No? So then, when I look, Krapp switches off the tape, broods, looks at his watch, gets up, goes backstage into darkness, 10 seconds, pop of cork, 10 seconds, second cork, 10 seconds, third cork, 10 seconds. And then you get a brief burst of quavering song off stage. And the old man, now the day is over. Night is drawing nigh. Shadows. Fit of coughing. He comes back into light, sits down, wipes his mouth, switches on, resumes his listening position. Back on the year that is gone, with what I hope is perhaps a glint of the old eye to come. There is, of course, the house on the canal where mother lay a-dying in the late autumn after her long viduity. Krapp gives a start, and the Krapp switches off, winds back tape a little, bends his ear closer to machine to listen, switches on, a-dying after the long viduity, and the Krapp switches off, raises his head, stares blankly before him. His lips move the syllables of viduity. No sound. He gets up, goes backstage, into darkness, comes back with an enormous dictionary, lays it on a table, sits down, and looks up the word. It would be an enormous dictionary because everything is clownishly exaggerated in Beckett's stage world. The immensity of the dictionary is part of the fun. Krapp then reads from the dictionary, having looked up the word. State or condition of being or remaining a widow or a widower. Being or remaining. Deep weeds of viduity. Also of an animal, especially a bird. The vidua or weaver bird. Black plumage of male. The vidua bird. He closes dictionary, switches on, resumes listening posture. Bench by the weir from where I could see her window. There I sat in the biting wind, wishing she were gone. This is his mother, a-dying. Hardly a soul, just a few regulars, nursemaids, infants, old men, dogs. I got to know them quite well. Oh, by appearance, of course, I mean. One dark young beauty I recollect particularly, all white and starch, incomparable bosom, with a big black hooded perambulator, most funereal thing. Whenever I looked in her direction, she had her eyes on me, and yet when I was bold enough to speak to her, not having been introduced, she threatened to call a policeman, as if I had designs on her virtue. Oh, the face she had, the eyes. He sighs. So, as you gaze down this corridor of Krapp'S, if you will pardon the expression, we get a sense of what it is to be accompanied by our past selves, which we all are, even if we don't have a tape recording machine. So thank you for your patience in listening to this rendition of the opening of Krapp. as is generally known as Krapp, for better or for worse. Krapp's last tape is a little long if you're referring to it all the time, and the natural abbreviation is Krapp. Well, I hope you find it revealing and perhaps even helpful. I'm quite relieved when I read it now that I don't have to listen to my past self. It's quite enough to remember it. So have a safe day, my dears. Now that our president has shown the way, please be sure to use social distancing and masks, or a mask, at any time when you are out in the street encountering strangers. Please take all possible care. All the best, my darlings. We'll speak again soon.